Hello everybody, Rex here, and welcome to part 1 of the Skullcrawler build. So before we get into the build process, we'll go over all the tools that I will be using to build this Skullcrawler. So first over there, you have the hot glue gun. Alright, you're going to need some hot glue sticks, a ruler, paper. Paper, that's good. And then cardboard. And then sometimes I ask what kind of cardboard I use. So here's kind of an example of cardboard. Cereal boxes is good. Big boxes like this. And you can see the thickness of the cardboard. So cardboard. Tape. And what the tape is used for is for taping pieces together like that. On both sides. That makes it nice and tight. So you just put a strip down there, flip it over, do the same thing. And I cut these because I didn't actually need this much cardboard for the build, so those have been cut. Scissors, nice, good, sharp scissors. You want some nice, sharp ones. These are really good and sharp. And these are just for tinier cuts, so tiny scissors. This is paint and paint brushes if you want to do painting. There's that. Elmer's glue. Some more Elmer's glue, this kind. That's for coating it after that. Toothpicks. I'm going to be using toothpicks for this particular build. Sometimes I use paper to cut the teeth out that way, but toothpicks work really well for teeth, so I'll be using toothpick for the Skullcrawler teeth. X-Acto blade, also very handy, and be careful with them, they're quite sharp. An eraser, which is useful, and a pencil, as well as some extra cardboard. Now you don't have to cover it in paper if you don't want to. I just do it because I like it nice and nicey white to match all the pieces of the rest of it. But again, it's not necessary because you'll be painting it over it anyways. So yeah, so that is all of the stuff that is to be used in the build, and that creates all the template pieces. Which, speaking of templates, the templates will be going up right now, so you can take your screenshots of them and use them for the build. But if you don't want to see the templates, you can skip to this time right here, where we will begin the building process. Alright, so the first step of the build, we're going to be doing the tail, but before that, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking this and attaching the side plate here and getting this all attached, because we want a top surface here with this, so I know exactly how these are going to plug into the tail bit here, because this is going to be able to swivel here at the base, and all these are going to be able to swivel with these individual joints, and that's what we want this to do. And with the plate, with the back plate on the Skullcrawler's body here, will make it easier to see exactly where this is going to plug into on the top. So that's where we're going to start, and we're going to start with the tail bit, move on to the legs, and from the legs onto the body and all that. But very first thing we're going to do is get this attached, and then we'll move on with everything else. Alright, so hope you enjoy it, and so without any further ado, let's begin the build. Here we go! Alright, so the tail has been completed. It does need a little bit more work, a little bit of touch up and little things, but we'll be doing that later on in most likely part 2. But I think the tail looks pretty good, and it moves really good. I like that. Look at that. The goal was set out, and the tail works really good. Alright, so now we're going to be moving on to the legs or arms of the Skullcrawler. Legs, we'll call them legs. The legs of the Skullcrawler. And what I have done here is I've made the right side of the Skullcrawler leg just so I knew what I was doing. With the tail part, if since you were watching it was a little fiddly and you were watching me fiddle around trying to figure out exactly how I was going to get the parts to attach and all that stuff. So I didn't want to do that here with this part, so I went ahead and made the left arm just to see how it all went together. So when I went here to show you how to put the arms together, you know exactly what to do. So I'm going to show you the arm really quickly. It does have the articulation here. This bit is the articulated bit that will plug into the body there. And the feet has a rocker, so it actually has a swivel. Now originally the design was that I was going to pivot back and forth like this, so the foot would go like this. But I ended up changing that just due to the fact how the foot, this part of the leg was designed flat. If I wanted to do that other way, it would be curved here and it'd be a little more fit a little bit more work inside here to do it. So instead of that, I just went with this, partially due to the fact for stability, so when it's flat, it will hopefully keep it from falling back and forth. If it did have that pivot, it may want to fall back and forth, so I kind of just went with this simple thing here. But for compromise, I went with a swivel, and I think the swivel looks pretty nicely, and those claws look pretty good, pretty good as well. Now, before we move on to making the right side of the guide, there are a few extra pieces that I had to make up for the foot that aren't in the template. So I do want to show you that really quickly. And that first is this strip. And this strip is this bit right here. And this is, pull up my ruler here, just to show you the size of it. It will focus there. Hopefully, you'll see how big that is. There it goes. There we go. Now it's focusing. So you can see the size there. Alright, that's the thickness of that. And that's just a straight little piece there. And next off, I went through and I made a new one of these. So up here are the new ones. So I'll show you that really quick. So this is a brand new side, and this is just for this side. So I did that. So it's mirrored now. And the way I did this, I just took this, flipped it over, traced it, cut it out on a new piece of paper, like so. Put it down. Instead like this, cut it out. Did the same thing with this. Now this is the front of the foot. What you're seeing here is this part right there. So that's the front. And I did the same thing here. Just spun this around, traced it out, got this. And besides that, I went and cut these out. Now these are the little claws of the Skullcrawler, which are these. And you need 8 of them, 8 for both feet. Alright. And also you'll need 3 pins. One goes here. The other one's going to go in there, and the other one's going to go at the foot for the rocker. Alright, and these pieces and everything else is the same. And these are just some excess pieces because those will be needed for this piece here and a piece inside here, and maybe to fill up some little gaps and little issues that may come up for that part. Alright, so with all of that out of the way, let's move on to making the leg of the Skullcrawler. And very quickly, one last thing I forgot to mention is how did I make these? These were actually just taken from a piece of excess cardboard like this. It looked like a pretty good claw, so I just used this. But what I did was I took this, found a nice straight piece of cardboard, put it down like so, and I just did this, did that, went over, did it again, and then I just cut this out like that. So I cut that out, and moved along, kept doing it. So that's how I did that piece with the claws. Alright. Sorry I forgot to mention that. Now, let's move on to making the leggies. And this is the end of part 1 of the build. If you can hear the fan, it's because it's hot and I'm melting. But I managed to get the arms done here. So here's the arms. I keep calling them arms. I guess we'll call them legs now. But here we go. We got the legs. They're done. And we've got the tail. There we go. So in part 2, we'll be attaching all this to the body. And then we'll build the neck and the head and get all that built. And then I don't know if in part 2 we'll also be doing painting, but it depends how much it's going to take to get the body attached and the head and all that done. Most likely in part 3 we'll be doing that. I might just make it a part 3 because it's going to probably take a long time to get the rest of it put together. And there's some cleanup that needs to be done on these parts and whatnot. So, hope you, woo, look at that. hope you enjoyed part 1 of the build. The tail tried to get away from me. There, did you see that? Anyways, I hope you enjoyed part 1 of the Skullcrawler build, and I hope to see you in part 2. Until then, have a great day, and goodbye, everybody!